All right, let's do this. So, you watched season 2 of What If, you'll have seen that they introduced a Mohawk character named Kahhori. Really like the character, so I thought I'd do some fan art. And what I'm going to do, talk random for a second, the overlay. So this is my reference that I pulled up. And this is the actress that voices her. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, so I apologize for that. It's in the video description, though. Should be. And then I had the reference of the costume itself, and then kind of what it looks like when her powers are glowing. And then I have this, because I want to have this, like, her hand glowing, like have it in front of her. So I have that hand reference to put there. So this be the head, and then the kind of shoulders, and the hand. That's my reference for today's drawing. And then to kind of give it that old-timey feel, we use some handmade paper that I got off of Amazon. Without further ado, I guess I'll just start drawing. If anybody wants to come in and chat with me while I'm doing this, you're welcome to. Let me turn the music down just a little loud later. Alright. So we're going to start off with her face. And then we'll add the torso bust. But I want the face fairly large. And hopefully I'll be able to do this fairly quickly, because I'm not going to be having to worry about so many details on the outfit and all that kind of stuff, because I'm doing a tighter end shot. The harder part, though, is that now I've got to make it look like somebody. That's always fun. So you can always tell if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't look like a person, or people that know her will know, hey, that doesn't look like her. And I thought this was it was really ballsy of Marvel, I think, and I'll explain why. I mean, one, just introducing a new character that isn't from the comics is a risky gambit, especially in a series like What If. And then introducing a character that wasn't in the comics and is a indigenous American of the Mohawk Nation is ballsy. And then putting the whole show in the Mohawk language and Castilian Spanish is ballsy. And yeah, I'm pretty amazed that Marvel did this. And one of the things that's fun when Miss Marvel came out, and you could see like Pakistani Americans reacting. So obviously with Kahhori coming out, it's really cool to see like Native American or Indigenous American, and especially members of the Mohawk Nation, getting to react to a character that represents them. You know, and I know it's trite to say that representation matters, but I do firmly believe that. You know, Black Panther was huge for that reason. Wonder Woman was huge for that reason. So, and it's weird to me because I took Spanish in school, and my junior high teacher, Senora D. Miguel, she was even though we were in Arizona, she taught Castilian Spanish, which is different from like Mexican Spanish. She's got a pretty prominent chin, so that's good. I can. I may have made her face a little too narrow. That's why we sketch it, so we can make adjustments on the fly, right? And the actress is in Reservoir Dogs, and I think if they make the jump to live action, I think she could pull the character off in live action as well. The character shows up again in the final episode of the season 2 with Captain Carter and Supreme Strange. So, spoilers for What If you haven't watched it. But if you haven't watched it, why are you here? Now, obviously, I'm not going to put these green lines on it. Just so I make the face a little narrow so we can clean this up. It cuts in slightly below the nose line. Again, I think I'm making it too narrow. The eyes here, the eye's about this big. This eye slightly larger because of the angle of the face. And you can see you get about how much thickness on the. The only thing I don't like about this paper is it doesn't erase well because it's got this texture to it. This is a handmade paper that I got off of Amazon. Distances pretty close, and then we've got so this side I got just about right. And I kind of like this angle because the head is slightly tilted up, so it gives you that kind of air of superiority, kind of. Base of the thing is just slightly above the crease of the mouth. I'm not too worried about copying the hairline, but just for it to help me map everything out, I'm trying to make it accurate for now. Obviously, cohort these hairs is different, so we'll cut in. Turn on the recording. Sorry. I don't miss all the drawing this time. I've been really bad about missing like the first 20 minutes on my replays. And my pencils tend this is tighter than I normally pencil because I'm trying to make sure it looks like her, or at least somewhat like her. My pencils tend to be much looser than this because I'll just generate the details as I'm inking normally. Kind of leaning back to make sure it still looks like her. Get the brows a little bit more heavy. Pretty girl. I should look up the actress's name again, so I feel stupid. Let's see if I have the about information here. Devery, D-E-V-E-R-A, D-E-V-E-R-Y, Devery Jacobs. I should have written this down. So that's who I'm turning into Kahhori because she does the voice of the character. So I figured it was a fitting homage to do that. All right, so you've got that. And then, like I said, I want to have the kind of the hand glowing in front of her. So I have this handy app. So we can figure out how we want to position that. I don't think it'd be fully turned. I think we need to have a little bit of angle on it so you can see the top part of the plane. So figure out where the hand's going to go. And this should be pretty cool because the hands glow. That's kind of why I wanted to have one of the hands in front of her. If you're watching, did you guys watch What If Season 2, Episode 6? What if Kahhori changed the Marvel Universe? Reshape the Marvel Universe? Is it too long? That might be too long. It's right here. The digit is about half the length of the palm, the back of the palm. So I made mine too long. This is the palm. Shorten it up just a tad. Just looked a little too long. The birdie finger is a little longer than the pointer finger. I just saw in a message. Armex said he might be here if he has enough battery. We'll see if Armex joins us stream or not. see the tendon for this finger comes into the wrist bone. Make the meat of the palm too thin, or maybe this is just too high up. Let's see. Alec is saying, I haven't seen the What If yet. You're okay. The best rated Marvel anything in a long time, but nowhere near as good as the comics, but I guess nothing ever is. Well, the unique thing about this one is it's an entirely new character. So she doesn't exist in the comics. I don't have reference for this, but we'll draw through. I'm kind of leaning back to see how far off I am. Let's put the Kahhori hairstyle on her. So it cuts in. And thankfully, my reference in the small picture kind of matches the angle, so I can kind of see how the hair wraps around. Look, it's Korg is hilarious though. You get some good lines. He can be a little too much sometimes, but see, there it comes. RMX. Oh, hey, did you want to join RMX? I'll keep you on mic or something if you want, unless you want to show something. But you can come in too, Alec, if you want to just talk. You guys don't have to be on camera, but there's the link if anybody wants to join in. Okay, so continue mapping, report these hair onto Devery. Put tracks for feathers in here. And what I was thinking about doing in the episode, they have like all our ancestors show up from the sky world, and there's a scene where there's just like the forest behind her. The forest is dark, and then all these eyes pop up, like eyes out of a Scooby-Doo cartoon. So I thought I'd kind of have that kind of background behind her, with her hand glowing, or wearing in the tunic. and the forest behind her with just full of eyes. Armix says he'll join in a minute. You haven't watched all the episodes yet, Alec. How far have you gotten? Because Korthy's episode 6. I'm trying to think. Korg is in like the first 4 episodes, I want to say. Thankfully, I don't have to draw her braid. Drawing braids is a lot of fun. Her hair behind her goes into a braid. This hair too high. What happens is this meets up with this. And then we can put the tunic on her. The tunic sits around the base of the neck. That's easy enough. Has a slit in the middle. So now we're going to put in the shape of the outfit, and then we'll worry about some details as we go. I don't know if you know about this hand. Rotate there for a second so I can look at this hand more objectively. This comes in, this comes in. This connects to the wrist bone, which I think is going to be farther in. Keep putting this part up too far. Go here, here, and then the meat of the palm sticks out the side. Okay. Into these bracelets for now. I don't think the number of rows is critical. And then we'll figure out where the shoulder is going to be, because that determines what this pattern is. Alex saying he liked the Nebula, so it was noir. It was very Blade Runner, yeah. Which is a good thing. I mean, I'm not saying that is a bad thing. It's like, but yeah, it was a very much a Blade Runner, and that's one of the things with a lot of the episodes this season. They seem to all have kind of a look and feel to them. I'm assuming that's RMX. Give me a second. Okay, so. It comes up, and then we've got this transition piece in the shoulder. It comes here. Okay, give me just almost there, Armix. Just give me a second. Okay. So we'll show RMX. He's drawing Blue Beetle.
Yeah, well, I have this is technically a printed copy. I'm just gonna be coloring it in because I don't want to keep the original where it is. I was gonna work on something from What If, but I don't have any references, so I was like, eh. But nah, you're all good. I was trying to get set up myself anyway, so I was making sure I had everything.
Okay, no worries.
But no, I don't. Sadly, I don't have any references for What If. I was gonna try to draw Doctor Strange, but then I was looking through all the photocopy stuff I have, and it's like, nope, it's not there. So I was like, plus it gives me a good test to run for some of the new materials I got.
Okay.
Art-wise.
Yeah, I saw you did an unboxing with some paints or something.
Yeah, no, I got some oil markers, some Copic color pencils, acrylic markers, and some watercolor paints and stuff. I got a little bit of art supplies, so I've been meaning to get some new stuff to test out, so I can branch out, do some different stuff, not just stick to painting. So I thought, you know what, like, try out. And I got the oil markers, and like, there's like, it was very weird because some of them have like weird names, and they're not exactly the same colors as the what's called. So it's like very weird. Even though the bag says Master Touch, I'm pretty sure they're the same as what's it called. So, hoping, even if this is a copy, I'm hoping to do it just as much justice. I want to keep the original for right now until I can feel comfortable when I add color to it.
Have you watched all the What If episodes?
Yeah. Well, I've seen most of them on YouTube because, like, why not? I haven't really had a chance to sit down and watch it on like streaming wise because I don't have Disney Plus, but we have like a bypass in a way. But I just haven't had that opportunity yet. But I've seen most of them to get like an idea of what's going on. The Hela one was the one I liked the most because it was kind of doing like it's a different version of the Thor movie plotline, but with Hela, which was pretty cool. Which, you know, it was a surprisingly good season. A lot of, you know, callbacks to the original first What If, which was enjoyable. I would have liked if they did more episodes per season, like you just like actually kind of do like actual what ifs, like what if Spider-Man killed Green Goblin in No Way Home, but like then again, you know, then that have all this extra stuff too that they would have to work around. Which kind of sucks, but what can you do? But I am giving like a little bit more color pencils and oil markers a chance to shine instead of always working with paint, because I've not as much worked with those type of materials, so it's an interesting new ball game challenge for me.
Alex saying comics are wilder. Let's see. I think that's what I meant. The series plays it safe. Well,
yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
There's two things kind of consider there. The comics have a lot more history to draw on than the series does. You know?
Yeah, that's fair. They could improvise just a little bit, though.
That's one of the things about the Kahhori episode, because that's an all new character. The one I didn't like, and this is because of my personal baggage, was 1602. Because they
what was that one?
Alex, as a kind of a spoiler for you, sorry, but 1602 is a mini-series comic by Neil Gaiman, and
oh yeah, the guy who did Sandman.
Yeah, but they, you know, where it's like there's a Steve Rogers gets thrown back in time, which causes the Marvel universe to kind of kick off early. So you have like the X-Men being hunted by the Spanish Inquisition, you know, and you have, but they don't know they're not supposed to be there, you know. They're in that time period. You know, Matt Murdock's like a bard, but the 1602, obviously, you know, in the 30-minute what if, they can't do an eight issue mini story, but what they ended up doing,
they did that in parts.
Well,
I think unless they did it in parts.
But that's what I thought Kahhori was going to be, because it looked like they were. I thought she was going to be the inciting event instead of like Steve Rogers, because the tesseract goes back to like the early or the mid 1400s, and then 1602. You know, that would have given you like 100 years to have everything be influenced, but that's not what they did.
Nope.
All right. Yeah. Get up and draw, Michael.
Boy, yeah, I honestly need to get maybe a few sketches for What If done that I think about it, because it's a good series. I've been meaning to do other pieces like a fan art of like shows and stuff. I just haven't had the time because I've had so much other work that I still needed to do. Because like I was doing like a test sheet for like testing out the oil markers and color pencils, and I tried to do like the Joker, and I was trying to do it in shadow and stuff, and it was not working. So I was like, it was a good tester, and it just wasn't working for me. So I then went to like a project I already had previously that was all half in watercolors, which was like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, which came out looking a lot better in my eyes. 'Cause I've been doing a lot more art streams lately. Been trying to catch up on like doing stuff, maybe doing requests when I can. My biggest problem is I need to get better at getting more photo references. It's hard for me to draw. I will say, I am surprised that they did the whole 10 rings and stuff Hela thing. But the only thing that bothered me with that whole thing was that Odin basically cast Hela out for being so extreme and blah blah blah. But then he ends the episode kind of like where he's like trying to tell her what to do, and he's being a prick and blah blah blah. So it's like, well, kind of comes off a bit hypocritical compared to like the Thor. Well, yeah, but in the Thor, well, sorry, you're right. But I was gonna say that in the Thor movie, he wasn't really a hypocrite. He had good reason to, because even though
he was totally a hypocrite in the Thor movies.
Well, was he though?
That story is basically the same as Ragnarok, and that's why Hela's all pissed off, because she was locked away. Instead of being locked away, she was cast out in this one. But in Ragnarok,
Yeah, but in the line, if I remember correctly, the reason he cast her out is like because to clench her bloodlust. So it basically was to give her time to maybe learn to be better and to eventually stop.
That's what I'm saying. That's the same story. It's like instead of casting her out, or putting her in prison, he cast her to Earth. So they gave her the Thor origin.
Yeah, but I think, but he sent her to hell in the base timeline, which that's where he screwed up.
But that's still Odin. Like when she was no longer, no longer useful as a weapon, and he had no use for her, and she wanted to keep going.
Well, yeah, like in the
Odin is a total hypocrite.
Well, yeah, but I think in the base timeline, he changed himself, because if you follow the original Thor movie, yeah, he sends Thor out, but he doesn't get mad at Thor at the end and try to like go after Earth or stuff like that. He's basically already changed as a person because he wants to stop. Because he already in the base timeline, he loses his eye and all that stuff with the Jotunheim War and stuff like that. And he actually is wanting peace, but near the end of the Hela episode, the only reason he comes to Earth is to get the rings back or whatever, and get the rings and just for more war. So he's a hypocrite, yeah, but I don't think he's really a hypocrite completely in the main timeline, because yeah, he sends Hela to hell, but it is more to give her time to stop and learn and then while she doesn't, she basically festers and gets angrier and stuff. He actually becomes a lot more wiser, because I look at, if you
the problem with your reasoning there though is, had he done that, he would have let her out. He didn't.
Well, maybe because she didn't learn. Because, like, if you think, she literally butchered half the Valkyries. She didn't learn, so maybe that's why he sent the Valkyries down there to check on her, maybe to let her out. But no, she didn't. So she butchered them all. So he's like, well, okay, she hasn't learned. We'll leave her there.
We'll agree to disagree on that one. Odin is a total hypocrite in my eyes.
Well, at least he's not Zeus. He's not a shape-shifting, you know what.
Well, the Zeus of the MCU is a joke.
Well, but I'm talking about in actual Greek mythology, Zeus is shape-shifting blank. Starts with an R. I'm leaving it at that. I know my Greek mythology, and Zeus is the biggest D-bag in the entirety of Greek mythology.
Yeah, I guess.
Something we can agree on. Well, all the Greek gods are pretty bad, but Zeus is the worst.
Uranus is pretty bad. Hades is pretty bad.
Yeah, okay. Kronos is bad. Uranus is bad. But I think Zeus has the most pretty jerky, effed up storylines. Hell, the whole thing with him is like he would shapeshift and he would basically do a lot of terrible things to the other side. And I'm gonna leave that where it stands. And also, there's a lot more just him having all these kids and other things, and it's just like.
Well, yeah, I mean, Greek mythology, Roman mythology is full of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think Poseidon was, like he's still terrible, but it just depends on what you read. You know, they're all pretty bad. I think even Artemis was probably sometimes could be pretty intolerable. It's like, I think all of them are pretty bad in the mythology department. I will say if Thor 4 was better, I think Zeus could have been a lot better in my eyes, because I think if that movie was written better and it was played less for laughs and more a mixture between laughs and seriousness, the way Ragnarok was, then we probably would have a better movie. And plus, I don't think Gore getting redeemed at the end, which was sorry, no. That was the biggest, and I think the way they wasted a pretty amazing actor, and his performance was great. The problem is near the end, that's where I think they kind of fumbled, because the whole point of Gore is he's basically kind of like an extreme atheist. You know, in a way that it's like he's, I don't know. It's hard to describe him.
Atheists don't believe.
Yeah, but his culture did, and
Gore knows they exist. Yeah, that's why he's pissed.
Yeah, exactly. But he basically, the reason why I compared him to atheist is because he knows they exist, but he kind of took him forever to actually meet one, and just to realize, yeah, they exist and they don't care, and his people suffered and all this crap, and it's basically, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm done, not helping you. I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, I'm gonna kill every last one of you.
Opposite of atheism, though.
Yeah,
he believes. He just doesn't like it.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it's a hard thing to try to describe because it's more of like he knows they exist. He believes in them in a way, but he also kind of like, because I think in his introduction he questions whether either of exist because he doesn't believe they exist because they don't even do nothing. They don't help. They don't nothing. And then I believe he's about to renounce the what's it called, because he just thinks either they don't exist and they don't care, or they just don't care. All that I don't remember the whole thing. It's been so long since I read Jason Aaron's run. I also need to get me a bit of water to wipe on this pad. The one problem with doing, because this is printer, it's with printed that I'm coloring this on. I need it sinks in. So actually, give me just hold on. Dang it. Hold on.
Hey, Alec, do you have more pieces in that surf show, or is it just that one? This Al Rock 024 who is in the chat, he has a piece in the Surf's Up exhibit at the Downtown Arts Center in Chinatown, Honolulu. That's what I'm asking. I don't know if he has another piece. I saw the one he posted on Instagram.
Sorry, it's getting wet washcloth so I can clean off this light pad. It was sinking through onto the screen, and I'm hoping I can wipe it off or clean it. The ink was sinking through the paper and onto this, and I don't know if that'll stain it or something now. Crap. Hoping I can clean it.
All right.
Just that one.
Yeah.
You have like a music thing of non-copyrighted music that you're playing?
Yeah, I use a Microsoft app called Music Maker Jam. And I cut my own mixes.
Yeah. I would have tried to make it to where I don't know if it would allow me to allow everyone to join. That's what I was trying to do. And not many people joined, so I don't know what was the thing, if it was like, what would happen if it would allow, because I don't know how the whole dual thing with YouTube works, streaming wise, just from phones. So I don't know how that all works, and I don't have.
How do you do your game streams?
Well, I just freaking with that on PlayStation, I can. Well, it took me till I got 100 subscribers, but it's either 100 or it was like 50. But because once stream, it took a bit to sink in. So I would go into broadcast, and then I'd go. It gives me an option to do. I think it's like I can choose the whatever. Twitch or YouTube, and I don't have Twitch, so I stick with YouTube. And with that, I think I go in, and I believe I can choose the title and all that, and then it just lets me stream. So that's it's kind of simple. The only way it takes a while to sync in or sync, because YouTube and PlayStation are a little weird. But with the streaming thing, that's pretty much where it's really weird, because it's hard to really figure out myself. It took me a while to completely figure it out and feel comfortable with it, because it can be kind of dumb. But with like streaming from my phone, it's like
the reason I was asking about the games, I didn't know you were using it from PlayStation. Like, I thought you had a computer. You don't have a computer then?
Nah, I have a laptop, but I don't game or nothing. I don't really fool around with that stuff. I thought about it, but I just couldn't. Too many buttons. And
because that's how I stream. I use a computer.
Yeah, if I was more comfortable and I knew, computer stuff, and I was more tech genius, I'd probably try using it. But right now, I just. If I could, I'd try to computer, but I probably need help setting all that crap up, and I don't think it would, work. Knowing my luck.
It's hard to do this. Most of this, because they have like the animation shading, so there's not a lot of hard outlines. It's all color, and I'm doing more comic book style.
It's kind of the reverse of Spider-Verse.
So that's like when I'm doing the parts. When I'm doing the parts that I know are going to be the war paint, I am putting the line in, but I'm putting it real light so that I can cover it later with the color.
Mm.
So this is like a pretty thin.
Kind of like Clone Wars in a way, in the animation department in a way, slightly.
Because I'm trying to think how it's going to be colored when I'm doing it.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking in the lines of like, if you're trying to go from like show to the show style, then I was like, I'm trying to think in that realm, but no, never mind.
That's why I don't know. I'm barely pressing with the pen. Just kind of letting the pen ride over the surface, not putting any pressure on it. So I make a nice thin line so that when I do the colors over it, they can overpower the ink a little bit.
I wouldn't have even used the ink lines. What I would have done is use the lines with the color itself, like go from the giant oil thing and just do the line there, and then work from that.
Let's put in some trees in the background.
But what do I know? That's just me. Then again, I haven't even drawn the character yet, so why am I even giving out advice? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I did do a little bit of Michael Keaton's Batman. I have a sketch for that. I eventually want to get it printed. My thing is, I want to, if I do a pretty good art piece, and I don't know if it's just a me thing, but I know that if I get a good enough pencil sketch done, I most likely want to go and get that copied because I want to have another, I want to have that, or have a, what is it, like a copy of it, so like, you know, I have the original basis, and then like if I want to, I can go and work from the copy, and then either I could light box it and then pretty much pretty much just work from there, or I could just do coloring on the copy, which is kind of what I'm doing with the Blue Beetle, because I have a few copies. I picked one random one that I wanted to see how well it could work, because I don't want to color the original because I don't want to screw that up or take a chance and not have base copy screwed up. By the way, how are the others doing? Did they have a good New Year?
Yeah, I think everybody's doing okay. Most of them are at a small convention today. I didn't sign up for this one.
I was just curious. I haven't been by the streams in a while, and you know.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Plus, I've been very busy with like the holidays and other stuff.
I know you've been doing a lot of streams yourself, so.
Yeah. I've been that, and I think then today I got bad news from a friend. I saw their video, and it's someone we both knew. Well, she knew her more, and so more than I did, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucked. So I was like, oh, I hope she's doing okay with the news herself. Because loss can be a pretty crappy thing.
And this is going to be the base of the blue paint for the fingers. Alrighty. Let's see how bad we mess this up now.
Now you know how I am. That's why I've started to get like copies. At least for my pencil sketches. So saying.
I've been drawing a bit more than you, so.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying.
I just try to fix it. I just try to keep going, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's rare that I get a piece where I can't salvage it somehow.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't casting doubt on that. I was saying the reason why I get copies isn't because I'm afraid to mess it up. It's all, well, I am, but it's also because I like to have my original, like, if I want to light box it or I want to sell, like, copies of the original basis, like, just the pencil, it should be just as good than as the colored version. You know, people will buy both sets of art in my eyes. I think you can certainly, you know, have fun with it.
I think we've talked about this. I don't sell prints. I sell.
I know. I mean, like at a con.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't sell prints.
Oh, never mind.
Because they're not my properties, so I don't make copies.
Well, I like to have copies just to have it even in the house at least, just to show how far I've come with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I scan everything I draw, so I have digital versions.
Mm.
But I don't sell prints.
Well, can't you like use like keep like even the pencil sketches like just as like if you wanted to have like a book about drawing or stuff, like kind of like Alex Ross. He has like the one where he has like I think it was about his rough sketches. I think that's like he has like the pencils for like thumbnails.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't paint like Alex Ross. Alex Ross does a lot of drawings because he does studies for his paintings. Most of my stuff is the finished piece, not prep.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, but still,
it's a different process, you know. If I was doing paintings like Alex Ross, then I'd have a lot of drawings that weren't finished pieces because they need the prep.
Yeah, but I think but don't some artists still like even for comics or even like thumbnails for like covers, like some of them have the base pencil and then they have the ink and then they have the colored version at the final.
Well, that's a different thing too, though. That's where they're doing the pencil originals and then they scan it in and do the inks and colors on digital. So that's why they have the pencils.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like the comic I'm doing, my pencils are being inked. So I don't have like a separate. I'm not doing my inks digitally. I'm doing my inks traditionally.
Yeah. I think for me, the reason why I like to keep the pencils at least, or get them copied, is for just a lot of reasons, but mainly it's just.
I'm not faulting you for doing it. I'm just we have a different process again, and you're also more of a painter than I am. I draw, like I said, my pieces are the finished piece.
Well, yeah,
I'm not.
But also,
what kind of marker is this? This is a Copic marker, Alec. But
well, for me right now, I'm not even painting. I'm using like oil markers and color pencils for the Blue Beetle because it's not like the original thicker paper. So it's like I'm having to account for things, but also it's just me kind of using like going through the base version where I have all the lighting and all the stuff figured out, but I can also adapt the feel of it in a unique way. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But yeah, I know what you mean though. I don't
fault you for. Understand. I'm not faulting you for making prints. That's just that's not how I work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, most of my friends make prints, so you know it's just a different mentality for me.
Yeah. I get it. I think I just like to have copies. Plus, my father is the main.
Well, like I said, I do scan my work when I'm done, so I can always print it out if I need to for something. Yeah. Like if I need it for promotional purposes or something like that.
Yeah.
I just don't sell the prints because it's not my property.
Yeah, I know. Well, I actually no. Hold on. Actually, wait a minute. I saw an article, and I don't know if this is true or not. But with the whole copyright law thing, there's a few characters that are eventually going to become public domain, and I think Batman's one of them.
Every year, a couple characters become public domain, but it's the version that becomes public domain, not necessarily the character as a whole.
Oh yeah.
Like Steamboat, like Batman? Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie just became public domain this year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
So you can do, work with the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse, but you can't do anything like the Fantasia version without getting.
Oh yeah, I know. I actually had to look into that to understand the whole thing behind the scenes, because at first it was very confusing. So I was like, wait a minute. So I get to use Mickey Mouse? I was like, no, you have to use the old Mickey Mouse. So I was like, crap. But I think for me, I like Yeah, every style and stuff. Yeah, and also for me, I like to have the feel of control. Like I think the reason part of it for me with like any type of art that I like doing is just feeling of control of understanding what if I'm going to do a certain medium for the piece. I like if it's copied, I have to adapt for it, and this is a basic paper, so I don't want to. That's kind of why I had to clean my light board, because it's going to stain the light board and I'm going to be screwed. Because I only have one of these and I don't want it destroyed. Speaking of, wait a minute, do you ever use a light board at all?
Very seldom. I have one, but I don't use it very often.
Does it have to always be plugged in when you use it, or do you just kind of... Can it work without it, like a plug-in?
Well, they're electrical, so yeah, they need to be plugged in, or they have to have a battery if they're like a portable one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If there's a way, if there's ones that don't have to be plugged in every time.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's like LED portable ones.
Yeah.
That's not the type I have, but
yeah, I would love to get one, but the problem is if I did become professional, the airport security sucks, and they would break it because they've broken my crap before. And I don't have any shame in saying that. I don't mind airport security. I don't have anything against them, but after getting my stuff broken 3 times going in an airport, I'm pretty annoyed. Every time. Infuriating. That, and it's always dad's money down the drains, with it annoys him too.
Well, yeah, I guess. I haven't had that kind of issue with the airports, but I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, we've had it, and it's been always annoying because they won't compensate, or it's a battle just to say, hey, you did this, you guys did this. Oh, well, you don't care? Okay, never mind. Just let it go. Buy another one. Another $50 or $60 or $30,000 down the road.
My coloring, I'm trying to match this one.
Oh yeah. Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
But I'm transferring this coloring to a different person's contours.
Oh yeah. So it's like it's kind of like using it's kind of like taking a game character, like a really old game character, and matching it to a realistic face in a way. It's kind of like that.
I've never tried that, but sure.
It's kind of like that. Like, it's been like some people have done that, where it's like, like take the old school, very old school like games, like or just like cartoon characters and making them look like real people. Those
yeah, I've seen that.
Things. Like, it's kind of similar in aspect. It's kind of like that.
So there's a couple different things. So I'm trying to make her look like her with this shading, but I'm also making the shading more gradiated rather than cell shaded. So a couple different things I got to try to accomplish here.
Yeah. One thing I didn't notice it till now.
Mm-hmm.
There's the blue, and then there's one white light on the top of her forehead going straight down.
Well, yeah, I haven't even gotten to that part yet.
Oh, I was like, I wasn't sure, because I know you were doing some of the blue lines, and I know that there's some white lines because I can see the what's it called, but I noticed the giant
white isn't as opaque, so I didn't want to do a white streak.
Oh yeah,
over black ink.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry. Okay, I hate sound. I don't want to sound like a know-it-all. I just noticed that.
We'll put in the dark area of the trees for now, because this ink takes a little while to dry rather. Sorry. So
yeah.
We'll put in the black background of the trees and let that dry. It'll take about 30 minutes before I can go over with anything.
That type of pen's more like a painter pen, ain't it? Kind
It's a
of.
brush pen.
Yeah, it's kind of like a, yeah. That's cool. I saw you guys doing watercolors the other night, and I was happy, but then I was like, I thought about asking to join, but it was so late anyways, and all that. I was like, I'm tired. I didn't get much sleep anyways, so I was like, I couldn't even stay if I wanted to. So I was like, it was so late. I was like, dang it. But one time that I get to see them do this, I can't join because I'm so tired.
It's all good.
It was cool seeing you guys do it. I rewatched it the next morning. You guys did a lot of cool stuff.
I don't consider myself a watercolor artist at all, but I have experimented with it.
Yeah.
I'm more confident with it now than I was 2 years ago.
Yeah. I think with watercolors, you really don't have as much room of error completely, because especially if you're working from a normal palette, you're kind of fine. Like if you're working from tubes, you have a little bit of chance of disaster, but if you're working from a palette, it's a little bit easier because you just do a little bit of dabbing and a little bit of, putting on the palette and then back to the page. But if you're doing like inks and stuff, like real ink and stuff, like inking, like professional inking with the inkwell and stuff, you have more chance of disaster than with watercolor, because I think if you're working from a palette especially, it's a lot easier. It takes time to get comfortable with it. It took me learning on my own, self-teaching myself, a year at most, 2 year and a half, I don't know, depending on the time frame. I can't really say how long it took, because it was very interesting, I can say that. Yeah. Did you do anything special for Christmas with your wife and all that?
No, we just do Christmas dinner.
What you have?
Whatever the wife made, lots of stuff.
Oh. If I was down there, I'd probably eat some too. I'd be like, "Can I have some, please?" And they just walk out, just be like, "Nom nom 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 nom." Yeah. When it comes to food, I will eat most anything. I don't care what it is, I will eat it. The only few things I'm picky on are with certain green beans. I do not like the type that they do at KFC. I like when they are a little bit crunchy, kind of like. Have you been to a Japanese or Chinese buffet and the green beans there are less liquidy and they're a lot more crunchy? I prefer that type. Comparatively.
I've been to an Asian buffet, yes.
Yeah. Well, basically, when it comes to green beans, that is what I like. I prefer that. I do not like any other type. If it's liquidy, I am more often than not to not eat it. Blech. I don't like it that way. I've been that way since I was a kid. I just do not like it that way. I'm just picky. But with anything else, I'm fine. I'll eat Mediterranean food, I'll eat Indian food, I'll eat whatever. Depending on if I find something I like, then I'm gonna stick with it. Because I'm kind of OCD and very. What's the word?
Well, I think OCD covers it.
Yeah, OCD, pretty much. When it comes to that, if I find something I like food-wise, and I just get it regularly. Pretty much covers it, yeah. Also, do you have any tips on what these, oil markers, with, coloring and stuff? If there something... any techniques that I think that work for you that I should try?
I've used oil markers. I use alcohol markers.
Well, I guess these are kind of like the same thing. I got like a big set of them. They're pretty much touch, DUTTU, double tip markers, fine.
No, those are alcohol, not oil.
Yeah, pretty much. Same thing. I guess. I always refer to them as oil markers, but I just like
that's why it's throwing me off. I've never used an oil marker.
Yeah, it's always I refer to that as a bad habit.
I have tons of alcohol markers, different brands. Tips. I don't know. The thing to do though is just experiment with them. I like to do wet blends. Like I don't know if you saw me doing the flesh tones. So I put down the brown, and I came in with the lighter kind of beige and ran over the brown again to bleed it out a bit.
Yeah.
To soften the edges.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. Because I got these, and the thing with them is like they came in. Here, I'll show you on stream. Like they're just this big, chaotic box of like. None of them were dried out, luckily, because Amazon delivery. But let me put a few back in here. They're like yay big, But the thing is, they're not a whole lot of colors, but there's just enough because there's like 70. I don't know how many. I think there's 100 pieces.
Well,
it says 100.
That's a lot of colors. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it feels weird because some of them don't feel like they look like they belong. Because it's like comparative to how organized like the Copic color pencils were. Like these look like a chaotic mess, and like some of the names throw me off. Like they don't look like. I was like, it took me like 5 minutes to figure out what would be the closest thing to a brown in this, like a real good brown, not like a dark brown. Because I originally went to this and it was like really dark, and I was like, wait, that doesn't work. So I went to like another one, and it was like, oh, that works better. So it's like sometimes like some of the things throw me off, and I'm trying to work around all that. Because, like, for this, I'm kind of blending in the color pencil and the oil markers occasionally, like, for shade and stuff like that. So, that's kind of why I was curious, if there's, like, any tips that, like, help out, for me at least, because I'm kind of new to them. Like, I like to experiment. I like to give, like, a better idea of what I'm working with. I know, like, with color pencils, they're, like, certain types, like primer and all that. They're very distinct. So they have a certain feel to them. And you have to kind of account for that compared to with paint, I think. So that's why I was curious.
The other thing I would say for marker, and this is, are you good with color pencil?
Kinda. I don't really know. I'm getting the hang of them. I'm in between. Because I haven't really used them before.
Pencil over marker and marker over pencil. If you learn to mix and match, you can create stuff that you couldn't do with either one by itself. Let me break out my sketchbook real quick.
All right. Yeah, like for me, like I did do like this as like a tester drawing. Like I was doing the Joker. This is what I was doing earlier today on a stream. It wasn't perfect, so eventually, I just ended up working this, which came out looking a lot better. Which was originally, all this was originally watercolor painted, and then I worked in with oil markers and reworked it a little bit to make it look a lot better. So, yeah, this was like, I did like kind of two tests. One with like a beginner type thing, which I not happy with, so I ended up doing this live on stream.
All right. So here's what I want to show you. Okay, so this is Landra from the X-Men, from the Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah.
But like, this is the armor is marker with white pencil over the top to knock it back down. This is a technique I learned to do. But that's you only figure these kind of things out by experimenting.
Yeah.
But I had already done it a couple times, so I knew, okay, so I'm going to do all my shading with a dark gray and a blue, and then when I knock it over with the pencil, it's going to make it look like armor.
Yeah. Well, wait, what color pencil were you using for that, though?
White.
I just got it. No, I mean, I know white, but I mean, like, what particular brand? Because, like, here's the thing. I have a few primer color pencils, but then I got this set of Copic, which is, like, second best to primer, I guess. So that's why I was curious.
The white pencil I use is a Prismacolor PC 938.
Yeah. Because I have a few Prismacolors, but I got a set of like Copic,
Well, because I work on a lot of tone paper. So if you want a white pencil for tone work, that is my absolute recommendation. I can say that.
All right.
I mean, look, I know the number, right? PC 938.
I will definitely go back in the stream. I will write that down like crazy because I have Dory brain where I'll forget it. But yeah, I will rewatch and write it down. But yeah, that actually helps me out because I'm gonna probably look into getting other stuff to experiment because like I do have something that could help you. And this is like because it's somewhat liquidy, but it is good for highlights and it has a neon feel to it. And that's this Bic Roller Glide neon little thing right here. I got this a long while back, and sometimes I use it for like neon-ish work because it has a very clear, like if I use it, just to put on a little bit of it was really bright, so it has a little bit more lighter, and if I went over kind of smeared it, it lightens it up sometimes depending on paper. It doesn't always smear, but yeah, it's kind of has a neonish feel to it, real liquidy, but it's a pretty cool pencil or pen.
Yeah, Alex saying a lot of artists use white charcoal.
I hope I can find some.
Like I say, I buy the PC 938s by the dozen. That's how much I like them.
Yeah, I might have to now. The thing we went to like an art store. We went to Hobby Lobby because it's practically the only place we have here except Joann's near the mall. And we went to the art aisle. We were looking around, and 5 minutes in, and my father was just looking at all the prices, and he was like, "We can get this stuff cheaper online. Let's go." Like he's like, "Let's go." Nope, we're not staying here. Like everything's so expensive. He was like, "Yeah, goodbye." It was kind of funny, but it was like pretty much like I didn't blame him because
art supplies are expensive.
Yeah, but Hobby Lobby is the worst at the pricing.
Yeah,
because
I'll be breaking out PC 938s in a bit when I start putting white down. You guys will see what I'm talking about. It's a very soft lead. That's the only thing. That's why I buy them by the dozen, because you go through them quick. It's a very soft lead.
Might have to look at them now. Why does her hand, the other end of it, look like Terminator fingers? But that's just because of the lines I see. That's probably why it looks that way to me from the angle.
I'm not sure what you mean by Terminator fingers, but
like the metal, it looks like metal compared to blue.
It's because the paper's showing through.
Oh.
And that's
so I was looking at it and I was like,
my B97 is low on ink, which is why I'm not drawing right now because I'm putting more ink in the bin.
Yeah, I was like, because of how dark it was. That's why I was curious. I was like, it reminds me kind of like a Terminator finger. It's like the liquid, like I say, the Terminator hands. That just could be lighting.
No, the streakiness is because of the paper showing through. The paper showing through is because the ink wasn't going down full. Okay, so let's see. What do I want to do? Let's put in the colors for the collars. So I got light blues, and this one of the hard parts about working on tone paper is on white, you know what the color is going to look like. On tone, the tone paper shows through, so it makes everything look a little bit darker.
Yeah, that's probably what it is, and that's why for me it looks so dark.
Is this good for the collar, or is this good for the tunic?
Have you ever used the Copic color pencils, or do you stick to primer? Or Prisma, I should say.
I don't think I've used the Copic pencils. That shouldn't have been blue. Okay. So this is what we do to fix that. Since that one shouldn't have been blue, and this should have been... I'm just going to make this one blue too, so that when we do the white over the top, it's consistent. Okay. And that blue's darker than this blue. Let me see. Another real quick.
And also, by the way, sorry, sometimes I do have a bad habit of accidentally, because I don't mean to talk over you sometimes. I do have a bad habit of accidentally doing that, and I don't realize it, or I don't mean to.
Well, stop it!
I'm sorry! I don't mean to. I realized that really quickly. Like, sometimes where we're talking at the same time and I do it, it's like... so I thought I apologize. That was me. Yeah. I might even go later and add maybe some paint or something, but I don't know. I don't know what tape it is though, but there's a certain type of tape that people use when they tape down their drawings, and I don't know what it is because I don't want to screw up my stuff, but I don't know what it's called to go to buy it.
Is it a clear tape or a blue tape?
I don't know, because like sometimes it depends, because like they tape it to the like a board, or they tape it to the what's it called, so it doesn't screw it up.
It's probably painter's tape. It's blue painter's tape, most likely.
Yeah, I might have to look into getting it because I really want to try it. So like some of my work doesn't look as, I guess, floppy or as bendy or whatever it is, the type of word it is, because. You know, I have to I'm kind of trying to get some stuff I feel like I need for some stuff with my work, because I want to, I don't know, try to get better. So far, I think I've gotten pretty good I'm getting pretty decent with like just my penciling and stuff. I've gotten pretty realistic and pretty I guess kind of better at it. Better than I was, so it just takes practice.
Yep, I've been working on getting better for 50 years.
Yep, I think we all are at this point. We're just like, it's a process, man. It's a process. Yeah. Kind of trying to go in and go over my oil, not oil. Keep saying that. The markers, whatever. I'll just stick to calling them the markers. Go over with my markers with the color pencils and hope that it looks good. Shading wise, because I'm kind of trying to figure it out as I go along. Trying to get more comfortable with it. I did try my hand at doing a few like rough sketch comic pages for like fan comic, but I just didn't like how they were turning out. I did go to the library and get some books about drawing comics, and they still were confusing. Not gonna lie. Still confusing me.
What books did you pick up?
How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way was one of them. I did.
That's an old school one, yeah.
Yeah, there was two other ones. I'm trying to remember the names. I know I'll have to. They're upstairs in a bag, but like, I'd have to probably a later date. Oh, I think I did tag you. I think, but I for that
Tag
pose,
me
I
on-
think, and for Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians. I don't know if you ever did see it. The one I was trying to
I'll
figure
see
out.
Tag me on what? YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
I'll have to go check. I don't remember seeing it.
Well, if I didn't, what I'll do is I'll just, if I still have the image, I'll have to look around and I'll either redo it or I'll just show you where it is. I don't know.
All right, I've been dragging my feet because I don't like doing all this white. See, I had to pick these things up because I go through so many whites and I end up with these little short nubs.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea. Hold on a
Yeah.
second.
If I had pencil extenders, I would use. I would probably get those for myself, but I don't use too many color pencils.
Nubs.
Nubs. So many nubs.
I keep them because they're still
It's-
usable.
instead of calling it, it's like little cigarette butts, just like everywhere.
So these are the PC 938s I was talking about. This is the Prismacolor pencil. And it's a very
Yeah.
soft lead. That's why I end up having to sharpen it a lot during the stream when I'm doing full coverage like this on tone paper. But
Yeah.
it's nice because you can go light, or you can go really dark, or really opaque. I should say really opaque,
Yeah.
and make it bright.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
And because I've done a lot of work on tone paper, so I'm always looking at different whites to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Plus, when you use a white, it looks like it doesn't. I think it's not even the lighting. It's like it actually comes off as bright white. Like when I'm using like a white, something that's white or trying to, it doesn't work.
Well, that's kind of, I'm working on tone paper, so
Yeah. I also
gonna
think
look
it's
light.
because I'm using like white paper, so it's not gonna work as easy for me compared to that. But even if I have like a grayish paper, it probably still.
But I have multiple white inks. I have multiple paint pens because
You got it all.
Color is my go-to white pencil.
Yeah. If it wasn't so damn expensive, be getting me some stuff. I got second best just because give me a test run, but also just because it's so expensive. Even online, like it was like, how much was it again? I think it was like couple. I don't know, really kind of expensive.
Well,
it's worth it, but
I
still.
wish you had talked to me because you know what I recommend for pens for cheap. You have a Ross near you?
I don't know. I have to look and check because if we
Ross-
do, it's either in Huntington or something.
Ross has a house brand called Creative Expert,
Mm.
and if you get the dual tip with the brush and the chisel.
Yeah.
So here's this is a set of what was it, 80? I think?
Ooh. That's good. Alcohol markers.
Yeah. So this is a set of 80 markers
Yeah.
for $22.
That's not too bad. 22.
Okay.
It's like it beats 50. Like I don't even think my dad would complain on that.
And
one.
you have to get the right because they have different markers. You have to get the brush tip and the chisel tip,
Yeah.
not just dual tip.
Yeah, not just
Because
dual, just like. Yeah, I have to like look Yeah.
Alex saying that's the reason I starved because the supplies are so pricey. Yeah.
Yeah, they're real. Yeah. By the way, when you're streaming, do you ever have like with the Streamlabs, does it ever burn up anything? Because I know when people are doing like the recording from their phone, unless you're doing it from your phone or you're using a camera. Also, I think your sound went out. By the way.
I'm just not saying anything.
Oh, I was like, I heard no music, so I was like, I didn't know if it like muted or something. Oh. I was like, it went completely dead silent. But no, I was ever curious if like, if you're recording, you're not recording from your phone or nothing. So like, I ever wondered how, if you ever run into like the whole.
Because I run these multi-streams all the time, so I'm set up on a computer. I couldn't do this on a phone.
Yeah, because for me, like if I'm like doing a stream on YouTube or I'm like just doing like this, it kind of still. Luckily for me, like I had my phone battery at like 100 before joining, so it's like slowly gonna gradually die, but still gonna die fast, but not as fast because it was at 100.
Break out a new pencil, but see, this is I buy these things by the dozen, so that's.
Oh, good. You could send me some. Kidding, of course. But just
PC 938. Blanc.
Yes. Voila! I need to get. I'll probably, if I ever go to Joann's or something, I'll look. PC something. I'll
938.
write it down. After, like, I'll get a piece of paper, rewatch the stream, and just write it down.
I mean, any place that carries Prismacolor, you can probably get them.
Yeah. Only thing that Hobby Lobby and that place probably won't sell anymore is the Newton watercolor paint. Which kind of annoys me because it's like...
Why don't they sell Newton? Is it a religious thing?
I don't know.
Did Newton say something about God?
No, it's like I don't know. He's the one that discovered physics, I think, but no, that's not it. I don't know why they stopped selling it. Like, I guess it's either it wasn't selling well, or it was like something was going on.
I don't think it's named after Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be selling it anymore, which kind of sucks because it's a good brand and a lot of professionals use it. So I have to figure out like a compromise. So until they either bring it back or until I can find a way to get it online, which dang it. Oh crap.
One Eye says, "Howdy hey." Howdy hey, One Eye.
One Eye. Howdy hey, howdy ho.
There's Rock saying yo.
Man, I wish I had a secondary phone just to comment in the stream, be like, "Welcome." Or you know what? If somebody joins the stream, yeah, I think if somebody joins the stream, there should be like a little soundbite that says, "Just because I remember this as a meme, and it's just like, welcome." just anybody who joins the stream, they just put it says, welcome.
No, that
probably cause a lot of jump scares, but it would be fun. It would be funny, but also cool. I don't think they would leave. I think they would be like, "What the heck was that? Awesome!" I know I would. I think it'd be amazing. Just join in and just all I hear, first moment I enter, welcome. But yeah, maybe at some point I might do what if characters, because like because I did get a request to do like Homelander, and I just like never could find the time to do him, because I saw you do him a couple times, and I just like could not ever get a chance. So, like it's like you're ahead of me on some things you've drawn, like because you've already done Blue Beetle, I think one stream, and like I'm just now finding the time to work on him.
Yeah. I don't stream everything I draw either, though. I mean,
yeah, I know, but like I think when you did Blue Beetle, I would think it was like either I think it was I don't know if it was the drink and draw, or it was.
Yeah, it was part of a drink and draw.
Yeah, but yeah, like I just now finding the chance to go and draw him. Been meaning to for a while. That movie was pretty good. It was decent. Not as terrible as some of the reviewers are saying. Like, you guys just hate us. Hate us. Hate us.
Some people aren't happy unless they're complaining.
Pretty much. Sad. The world's already a crappy place. We don't need to hear you, bitch. Well, we needed some hope. And speaking of, have you been paying attention to the whole Superman movie thing? That whole stuff? I know.
I mean, I follow James Gunn on Blue Sky, what's the Twitter thing? Not X. Twitter, Threads.
Threads, yeah. I just recently got Twitter set up for me and the channel, so like I just recently got that whole thing set up, and because of like my phone space, half the time I'm having to delete it, and then like occasionally I'll post something because I don't post regularly. It's more like a semi-regular thing. Like if I'm gonna post on other platforms, it's like it's gonna be very few in between. It's the same with like TikTok or other stuff, because I'm not a very social media person. Never have been. So for me, it's like the only time I'm like mainly I like to do stuff with the channel, and it's more about me trying to find time to set stuff up. The thing with me, that's why I kind of felt bad, because I did see your comment about what the whole time of like the stream. I felt bad because I'm not very good time wise. I just set it to a random time. Like I didn't even realize.
I mean, we're 5 hours apart.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, crap. I screwed up yet again. Dang it. But yeah. I do plan on trying to do more art streams. I've done a lot more. I've been doing gaming stuff, but I want to try to do more videos. My main thing has just been space problems, because every time I get something worked out where I want to do it, I have to do all the editing and then all this other stuff, and then the worst part is when I try to edit the music or something I want to add into like a regular video. I got to make sure it's not copyrighted. So I did find like a little trick that I found that works, is that I loop it and then move it down so where it's not as visually seen with CapCut, where I get like a short that has like non-copyright music. I make a short, do it unlisted, and I loop the music, because CapCut does have some non-copyrighted music, but then one of the songs that keeps getting me copyrighted thing is like one of the piano things. It pissed me off, so I can't even fight it, because like it doesn't have any effects, but it's still annoying that half the older videos are that way. So it's like, crap. So, oh well. Yeah. hoping to do maybe a duo live art live eventually again, and maybe do it from my channel. And I'll try to put maybe with the stream, I can try to edit it depending on when I set it up. I could put like the link on the community vote. Screw up on this community post, and then like in the description, so it's easier for you. Like if you wanted to join in, I could just sit there and wait for a bit.
Yeah, don't plan on me. If I see something and I can make it, I'll let you know. But
yeah,
I mean, I have a full-time job and.
Oh, you're good. I understand. I'm very reasonable when it comes to saying I don't want to sit there and say, you know, you have to come this specific time, because I know like life has a funny way of giving you the finger and saying, yeah, no. So I'm not that. I understand. Trust me. I know you have like full-time job, you have kids, then you have this, all that, some other stuff you need to do. You're all good. Tried to keep up with some stuff. I know Arcane Season 2, like a small little teaser trailer for that came out a couple days ago. Very small, nothing too major, but it does hint at some stuff, which was pretty cool. I
don't know the game. I like the series, but I don't know anything about the game, so I don't know who's in that teaser.
Same.
Like I have a friend that's like a super fan, and he's really excited. I'm happy for him,
yeah, but for me, I'm like, I don't know anything about the game because it's on PC, and also just in general, I don't really know too much. I actually, the first time I ever knew about anything Arcane related was just our League of Legends was just through the show. So like, I really love the show. I don't know anything about the game, but I love the show. So same there. I'm looking forward to it because I love the first season. It has a lot of great moments. I'm hoping they can continue that streak with the season 2. And from the trailer, and it looks like, and I had to look into it and do some research, because it's, and I don't really consider this a spoiler, unless like, you know. I had to do some research because pretty much everybody knows it, most everybody. But because it was hinted at in season 1, and I had to go back and rewatch it. But there's like in that guy's lab, the one with all the bandages, there's like a hanged up figure that's half wolfish. Well, that character is actually. I think he goes by another name when he's the wolf guy, but from what I understand, but it's actually what's his name, the father, you know, thick accent, beard, nearly he pretty much dies at the end.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I don't remember the name, but I know who you're talking about.
Vander, I think it's Vander, right? Pretty sure. If anybody in the chat knows, let me know if I'm right or wrong. But I'm pretty sure the name's Vander. I think it came in clutch, but I'm pretty sure it is. But let me know. But yeah, he's basically that character. And in the trailer, you know, you have the two. You know, you have that wolf. Thing, like it's hooked up, and then you have what's his name from the first season looking and flipping around this locket of his daughter, which I guess throws like 2 hints of like storylines. You know, maybe we're gonna learn more about Vander and his relationship with maybe Vi and Jinx's parents, but also like see that whole thing, and also maybe we might see, I don't know, we might see more of that scientist guy. I don't know. It just depends. I saw something about paper. Popped up briefly.
Yeah, it's Alec was saying. Alec was saying the paper is the base skin tone.
Yeah. Me, I'm just going over something I already did, like that's been copied. So I'm using like a regular base paper, so it's not as thick. So it's kind of it's mostly it bleeds through. So I'm kind of having to like put stuff underneath it to kind of compromise, so I don't have to work on the original. So it gives me a chance to I have the original already still good, so I can kind of see and put if I have a copy, I can do the color feel for it. And gives me like a practice. Which is actually good for me because I actually get to kind of see how well it can work. Materials would without touching the original at all. I can just, test out test it on like a practice, copied already sheet. Does me wonders. Does me massive wonders. Yeah, I do think I should have probably messaged you and asked before get buying some stuff, just to get your opinion and see what stuff you think would be good to get. I think next time might do that. Just depends.
I mean, it's not me asking. At least ask another artist, you know. I ask Reed, if I'm buying ink, I ask Reed for advice, Reed knows his inks. So.
Yeah. I would be too afraid to touch inks yet. I want to first master stuff that I think I can work, try out for different styles, and basically figure out that stuff, and then work my way to other stuff that can work into that, and have a giant merger of everything. So work on getting my pencils good enough. Okay, then I can work on getting my paints good enough. Then I can merge those two skills. Then oil markers and maybe color pencils, merge that skills, and merge the other skills together, and you have all four. And work the other. It's very weird, but it's basically it's working on getting that each better at each thing, because then you can work on getting those, incorporating them into your style and all that for each one. It's very convoluted, very weird, and probably very stupid to do, but oh crap! Camera! Bumped it. Kind of reminds me of elevator music. The background music a little bit.
Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit of elevator music. Standing in the elevator, waiting on the air. Probably wonder how well it would be if I ever did if I ever did get the money to be in Hawaii for a day.
Give me a second.
Might even stop by one of the conventions if it was still going on. Be like, you probably would probably could tell just by my voice. Just be like, wait a minute. Oh, hello. I recognize that voice anywhere. If you're one of those types of people. Is there any movies you're looking forward to? By the way,
Movies I'm looking forward to. I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching Echo here in a couple of days. Not a movie, but
well, for me, there's not too many. I know Dune looks pretty good. Might go see that. Just depends. Might try to see that. Looks like a pretty good one. Because chapter 1 was good. A little slow on the slow side, but it was and a little fast. But well, in between, it was more fast than slow. But still a good movie. So I might try to go see that. Been watching the Percy Jackson on Disney Plus occasionally when I get the chance. It's been pretty good. Haven't really had a chance to review episode 2 and 4. But I might eventually. Trying to get the time. Mainly just want to stick to the art side of things and casual gaming stuff, but more art. Because I want to get projects done that I've been meaning to do. Trying to remember how for the helmet, how I think it's like it doesn't have to be all depending on where the light is, because I've never really done too much metal, and metal has a different light vastness, I think, if I recall. So for like Blue Beetle armor or headpiece, it's like blue metal, so it's very, I don't know, it's hard to describe what it is. You have to, did you ever figure out a way to, like, kind of a counter with that, like, just the metal itself, because it's blue, it's like you have to find ways to lighten it and figure out how to blend it right?
I mean, I've done a lot of metals, so.
But I mean, with Blue Beetle, you know, the whole, because of the light vastness and distinctiveness. Because the head bust, it's like I have to like think in the realm of like blending and light vastness and a bunch of crap that I fully don't understand, but I'm going to try.
I'm probably gonna have to use blue pencils. I don't think the marker blue is working for me. But
blend the white with the blue.
Eyes in the Woods, like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yes. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? On Scoob! No, I can never do his voice. Hold on. I think it's like... I can't do it. I never could. It's very... when I try to do it, it's very... It's a mixture of raspy, but very squeaky. Like, come on, Scoob! I can't do it, sorry. No voice actor. I am not a voice actor. I don't know how they do it. Oh, man.
Daredevil. What is Alex, looking forward to Daredevil. Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing what Disney does with Daredevil.
Yeah, I hope. Here's my biggest thing. They need to keep it similar to the way they had it, because there's a reason it worked, because it was dark and rated R with those Netflix shows. If they go and make it too child friendly and stuff like that, because Daredevil is pretty dark, even in the comics. So it's like, you kind of have to have, like, you can't do a She-Hulk with Daredevil. I'm sorry. And I was very let down by that episode, for the way it played out. Just, boy. I didn't mind them doing it. I just think they can... I don't know. I'm very opinionated, so I'm just gonna shut it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it as well. I just have very takeaways because it's Disney.
Yeah, Alric mentioning that there's supposedly the Netflix show is canon, the Daredevil one, not the other ones so far, but the Daredevil is supposed to be canon.
Hopefully, they can keep that tone. That's the biggest thing lately. The drastic shift in the tone of the MCU has been the biggest problem. Because, like, it went from very serious, but in all the events from Thanos, and now those events have been played like a joke, and it's just like, why? Why? It makes no sense. It's like it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah, Daredevil's supposed to be in one episode of Echo. I remember that. Like I said, they're like Alex saying they're supposed to be keeping the Netflix show canon. And they're, I mean, all the ads you've seen for Echo up to this point, they're really leaning into the hyper-violent nature of it.
Yeah. Which is great. That's great. But I think with Secret Invasion, that was supposed to be very serious, and then it was just written so terrible. Like, comparatively to Marvel's Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Oh my god. How can you screw that up so bad? Actually, by the way, have you ever seen that show?
Which one?
Marvel's Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
I don't think so. It's an
Gotta
animated
watch it. Yeah, it's animated. It's pretty amazing. You might have to give it a watch or binge watch it at some point. I think they have it on Disney Plus as well, because this the show was being made before the Disney, what's it called, deal, but I think it got canceled because of it once it went through. But it was an amazing show. I highly recommend it because the writing and I wish they would make another series of it, but then they probably, like they did with Young Justice, kind of eventually it'll go downhill. Hopefully it don't. Not saying everything goes bad after it goes for too long or brings it back. The Samurai Jack was pretty good. They brought that back. So don't get me wrong. Sometimes they do. Just depends. And I'm not saying Young Justice is bad. I think it's just because of the time skips and the massive the time skips every season, and then you have like the too many characters, so you can't even keep track of stuff, which is a problem for me. That's pretty much it.
One eye says they grew up on that. The Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Says it's
Yes, we got a fan. Yes, One Eye, you are my man or lady, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to assume, but yes, thank you. That show is amazing.
I grew up on the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show and the.
Oh, I watched reruns of that. That was funny. That slapstick humor was hilarious. But yes, I watched a little bit of that stuff on Boomerang.
We had Super Friends.
I saw a little stuff of that, but I remember there was like a canceled. I remember getting the toys, but they had there was like a Legion of superheroes show.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it. It was animated. They had Superman in it. They had little figures. They had Lightning Lad. They had the Ball Boy. I don't remember his name. Bouncing Boy. They had a few others. I remember. I don't know what happened to it, but correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But I know it existed because I remember it. I know it got canceled, but it was decent. It was a pretty good show.
When I said Heroes raised it when my parents didn't want to, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, I know that feeling, but yes. Oh, that was an amazing show, and that comment makes me smile because I know that one. Yeah, that show and Spectacular Spider-Man, Static Shock, X-Men Evolution, X-Men the Animated Series, Batman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited. How many shows did I watch as a kid? Danny Phantom, Ben 10 Classic, Tron Uprising. There's so many. And I remember watching the campy Adam West stuff with my grandmother when I go to visit her. So I would watch that with her on Me TV, and we would enjoy watching that together, even if it was corny. And then the next morning I would watch reruns of Batman the Animated Series, so it was all worth it. So I love. I think with the Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, they had really good arcs. So they had Secret Invasion, they had all these amazing big arcs, and they had Black Panther in the show. They had Hulk's villains, the Leader, Abomination, before even the movies touched on them. Abomination. And stuff like that. So that show, I think even before Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. used Graviton, Graviton was the first villain that the Avengers had to deal with in the show, which was my introduction to him and how OP he was. Which, might I add, anyone who can control the fundamental force of gravity is probably OP as hell. Pretty much.
Batman 66 Peak, and it's
yes.
that's close to my time. Guys, you ever read the book that actor Robin wrote, My Life in Tights? No, I have not read that.
I saw it. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I did see that. I think somebody I knew read it and they liked it, but I didn't get a chance to read it myself. I didn't want to, because I have dyslexia, so I wouldn't be able to. It would be very hard regardless, but I still would want to try. Either get it in an audiobook format or something. I would try to get it, but I just haven't had that chance. But that's been something I wanted to read because I know what he's talking about. That's a pretty good book. One problem with working on the floor and freaking carpet. The carpet starts to bother my feet. It hurts. I refuse to work at a desk. I sit crisscross applesauce. By the way, if it's split screened or is it just focused on yours editing wise?
It's just on mine. If you want to show something, let me know. I'll bring you up.
No, that's good. I was just curious. Because with like the drink and draws or what, like the comic jams or whatever it is, it's like multi-split. So that's why I was curious if it was or not. It doesn't. That's why.
Yeah, I can do it. It's just.
No, that's good. I'm just curious. Plus, right now I'm just trying to figure out the. Looking good so far.
Getting there.
Yeah. That's a big
Takes a while to build it all up.
Yeah. I know that one. By the way, I do have a little bit of a question for you, and this is just for me. Now, I can share this on stream, but and I saw, and the reason why I ask is because like one of the art pieces you did was someone of another affinity, and I was curious because you've done multiple. Now I got a request in an art stream to draw Chadwick Boseman, and I did some of it off camera because I was so afraid of screwing it up. So I was like looking at photo reference and all that. My biggest thing was I was trying to figure out the whole hair and stuff. I think I got the lighting just fine, but my biggest thing is I'm kind of afraid to do like the hair thing because I don't know how that whole stuff works. So I was curious. You got any tips there?
Stuff works.
Well, mainly, if you get where I'm going.
Yeah. If we were there in person, I could do stuff with you, but I don't think I could describe my stuff.
Yeah. I wish I would. It would be amazing if you could. You just teleport down here and be like, knock, knock, knock. Hello. Yeah.
The only thing I could tell you is pull the colors that you think are close and experiment on a separate piece of paper.
Yeah, with the hair.
And then you said you do watercolor, right? So
yeah,
don't be afraid to layer and build up to what you need. Don't try to go straight to whatever the color is.
Yeah,
work your way into it. Because if you make it too dark off the bat, it's hard to fix.
Yeah. My biggest thing was I was afraid with the hair, at least, because their hair isn't completely like ours, and that's why when I was looking at some of your that were, I was kind of like, is there a certain technique I should be doing with that? Because I don't fully understand it. Even if I'm looking at a reference, it's still somewhat confusing, and I don't want to offend somebody, and I don't want to get it wrong or do a disservice or just
if you're drawing what you're looking at, you should be fine.
Yeah, I guess. I'm always worried, especially if I'm doing somebody that, especially like, because how intervention, especially how influential he was to the scene, and especially, you know, I don't want to get some stuff wrong or, you know, piss off somebody if I do. Like, it's like the same way I would be if I'm trying to draw Michael Jackson, or I'm drawing somebody that's like Fluffy or somebody. I don't want, or Chester, or the singer of Audioslave, Chris Cornell. Like, if I'm doing something like that is based on like, especially since they're gone, I don't want, whether it's just a fear of, like, for me to do a disservice, but it's also a thing of, like, I don't want to you know, like, somebody to see it and they're like, well, first of all, that's not, like, this little thing is wrong. The hair, you need to understand how this works and blah, blah, blah. So, like, I can understand, but I just don't want to piss somebody off. Because that's just my main thing. It's even on my channel, that's like, if I'm drawing somebody that's influential, like, I'm more often than not gonna just end up doing it off camera, because of I get a bit of stage fright when I'm, and I, even if I'm doing good, I prefer sometimes where I prefer to work off camera just out of fear. With the Batman one, I didn't have that problem, but because I had pretty good references and stuff. But like with like,
well, I think that's just going to come with experience, guy. You know, it's
yeah.
It's like I mess up on stream, and it's like, well, that's part of the process, you know.
Yeah, you're right. I guess for me, being younger, but it's also just a thing of like, I just don't want to piss somebody off, because like then it's just like, yeah, now I gotta live with that. And
like I was saying here, trust the reference. Like I said, if you're drawing what you're looking at, you should be fine. Yeah, and I had a pretty good reference. I think it's somewhere upstairs. But like, I mean, you're not like drawing Chadwick Boseman in blackface or whiteface, you know? No. I'm like, as you can see, like I was doing all pencil at first, so like I get a good rough feel, similar to like most of the ones I've been doing lately. Like I want to do like pencil first, and if I feel like the pencil is good, then I can either get it copied and have that rough basis to then do coloring, or I can basically, you know, just keep adding to it, fixing it if I feel like there's areas I don't like or I feel like I've screwed up on. Because like I'm very particular where I like, no matter if I'm working in paints or I'm working in oil markers and stuff, like with that Joker one, I think I showed it like when you left, I think at one point off camera, but I was showing, like, you probably will rewind the stream while editing it, but basically when I was testing out like color, like the oil markers with your one eye is recommending you watch tutorials done by people of color. Well, yeah, that actually might give me better advice. Thank you. I'm gonna take that one because I need to now. Like that actually might help me because sometimes I would ask friends, because there's a few that I had that were, and sometimes, you know, they would be helpful, and sometimes that they're not artists, so they didn't care, so they're like, well, looks good, bye. So it's like, dang it, I was hoping for. I think the funniest one I ever got was with that that Stranger Things poster, and one of the people I knew, he said he looked at Lucas and he's like, hey, look, it's Bill Cosby, and I was like, shut up. I worked so hard.
And it was funnier because he just because at the time that was the whole. With everything going on with that, it's like, why would you say that? Even if you are, it's just why. But yeah, I might look into that one because I actually have a great idea, and I didn't even think of that, and I was thinking of all these other things, and I'm not even thinking of that. Well, the thing is, I can with the Kang drawing, I think I did pretty well, but that was like I wasn't as focused on making him look like he does with his base version. So like with the blue skin, I didn't have to really worry about, working on layers or hair or any of that. I just had to make sure I got his face right. Now, going from after what Jonathan Majors was accused of and losing the quick trial, I don't care. I get it. He's now bad, but still, I still am gonna finish that drawing eventually. But yeah, I think it's more just not it for me. It's like sometimes there's also like defects with the reference that you don't really account for. Like that's like with the Batman reference I had I had a couple, but sometimes the ears were cut off near the top, and depending on the angle, sometimes that was like that was a small defect because of the way the ears are for Michael Keaton's Batman. I don't exactly have a figure or a toy that I could grab and look at. That kind of sucks for me because I can't really get a better feel for it. I did try looking up other pictures, but it's harder to do on screen. Which sucks, but what can you do?
Just about done. I just need to reinforce some of my ink lines, and I think I'm going to call it done.
Yeah, me, I'm in between. I still have like blending and armor, but I can work on this tomorrow anyways. I'm kind of getting a feel. I'm kind of getting a feel of understanding where to blend the art subjects, or everyone is. Yeah, pretty much. But I think for me, I'm my own worst critic. Even everybody says it. Even my own father says it, and he's right. He always says, you're overly critical of yourself. You need to take a breath for a minute and get, more, less, quit being so critical and, just be happy and kind of just focus on some other things. Get better stuff. This has been my main thing. I'm right now just trying to get. I think I've gotten kind of comfortable with the blending of like color pencil and what was it? Color pencil and oil markers, I guess, because I'm kind of. This is like my first time using. I know I keep calling them oil markers. Whatever they're called, I'll call them markers. But the markers I'm using, I'm getting more comfortable with the process of blending them together, and I actually appreciated your advice on it. Like, even if I don't have the too many primer color pencils, I appreciate the whole thing of figure this to this to that, that actually helps. I'm getting kind of good at it, figuring out what layers, kind of figuring out the light vastness. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, sometimes I
long
think
journey.
Yeah, I think sometimes you would make a good teacher. A lot better teacher than I would, though.
I don't know. I make kids cry.
Wrong. Well, you didn't. You didn't make me cry. And I doubt that.
I have some teaching credentials, but it's hard to do. Like I don't want to do like tutorial videos. That's not me.
Well, I think
like if you got questions, I'll try to ask. But
yeah,
I'll try to answer questions, but I'm not setting out to like, hey, let's do this. Let's learn how to do this. That's you're not going to see that on my videos. That's just not.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, it's like this is not that. There's the thing is like this is kind of how I look at it.
There are people out there that will teach you stuff, and that's one of the great things about the internet. There's so many of those resources available now.
Yeah. And there's like multiple ways. There's no clear cut way of how to do something. Like there's like 50,000 different ways, and the most important one is the one that works best for you. And you can get a small tip here and there to figure out.
Does it look like her?
Yeah, it looks pretty close. I think with photo references, like with the faces, I'm not gonna lie, like when it comes to real life in comparison, it's always so difficult.
I want to deepen the shadows a bit.
Yeah, because the person you're basing it off has a lot more of a thicker, not as like with women compared to women's faces. And this is not sexist. Most women faces are very more curvature, but that one's more very thicker, less cheekbony, more outer.
Well, that's the angle also. She's got her head tilted up, which flats out the chin line.
Yeah, okay, then they're right. Well, yeah. True. Well, that too.
Yeah, I think we'll call it done. Tilt.
Looks good.
Tilt. You need me to
tilt? Yes.
I'm not sure what I'll.
Yeah.
So Kahhori, but drawn as the actress Devery Jacobs. Devery.
Well, wait a minute. What about the trees? Are you gonna like add a little bit of like little effects of like the magic from the show on the trees? Like
no, that's the eyes in the background.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was gonna be like, well, are you gonna do that? And I was like, oh, never mind.
All right, so let's take a look at what you're doing here, RX, and then we'll call it.
Yeah, me, because of the lighting in here. Yeah, I'm doing Blue Beetle, and also, like I was saying earlier, this was the first tester drawing. This was the second attempt of like I was revamping an old one, getting more comfortable, and now I think I'm getting the hang of the whole oil markers. Now the lighting in here is probably crap. I'm gonna hold it up a little bit easier. So I'm using a copy of the base sketch, which I have somewhere over there, so you guys can see. And I do actually, to clarify earlier's point, I think this is the Batman thing. This is the photo reference, and I had a few others. The ears, those dang ears, man. But yeah, this is what I got done, partial. Mainly just trying to figure out the armor headpiece with the light vastness at the top. And I have a few photo references put up to the side. Some are in shadows and then some aren't. So it's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I honestly, I don't know. I just was.
Well, what I would do for something like that generally is like bring up the really dark print again.
Here.
You have some kind of image editing software, right?
Maybe.
So
I think
so. You print that one for the lighting, and then you take it into the editing program. And you ramp up the gamma so you can see the details.
Yeah. That actually would work better. Now
And I do that quite a bit. Because I'll have 2 copies of the same image, but one is like blasted out so I can see the details, and the other is for the color reference. All right, Alec, if you're going to be free this weekend, there's 2 jams this week. There's one at IA Library Saturday from 1 to 4, and one at Pearl Ridge Sunday from 1 to 4. So I don't know if you want to come check it out. I won't be the one Saturday, but Reed will be there, the big guy. And let's see. One Eye, I don't know if you're still there, but thanks for watching. RMX, thanks for hopping in.
Thank you.
Alec, thanks for watching. I don't have anything else to promote. From here, I'm going to be. See, I did the Lilander earlier today, and I'm going to finish up a Miss Marvel that I started earlier today.
You got a lot of ones that are in the pencil and in the posing thing. I need to get more better at that.
I do these pose figure studies, and then I turn them into characters later.
That's something I need to do. I'm mostly what I do is I have I just do
this was a pose figure study, and then I said, hey, who should it be? And somebody suggested Lilander, so I said, all right, fine, I'll make it Lilander. This one, this is the one I got to finish up tonight.
I might have to try that, like that little thing where I just figure out poses and stuff. Because my biggest thing is I try to go for just the detail in the face and all that stuff, and then I work my way into doing the character. And half the time it's not really in a pose or nothing. I actually want to get more comfortable with doing that.
This is also, because I want to keep doing more different poses.
Yeah.
I don't want to just have people standing there all the time. You want to put them in action and stuff like that.
That's the one thing. That's the one problem with my work is and I can see it is that
I don't want to be all static. So I sit there and look at stuff and I sketch down the poses, and then later on I'll come back and I'll turn it into somebody.
Yeah, I think that's something I need to maybe get more comfortable with.
The David Mack stream we did, that was the one where we did the watercolor.
Yeah. I saw that. That was pretty cool. I don't know how the heck. Now this is something that was really bugging me. How the heck you had that in black and then you eventually turned it to white, but you had when you were painting it, I saw the reflection of the what's it called? And it was still I saw it still in the black, and I was like,
it's masking fluid.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually pretty cool.
So I didn't even know that. I painted the lettering on with masking fluid, and then I painted over the masking fluid with the ink.
Oh, that's clever.
And then once it's dry, then you can theoretically you can rub off the masking fluid.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah. All right. New comments. What do we have?
You taught me something new. Another one. Might have to. Huh. Cool.
All right. Thanks, One Eye. All right. You guys have a good night.
You guys have a good one.
Okay.
You subscribe to Don's channel. He's amazing.
Yeah. See now I got to go because I record the video, so now I got to go through and it'll take me a half hour to do the video editing and add a soundtrack to it, and then upload it to YouTube for the replay.
That's true. So still subscribe to either one of us.
Usually an hour after I stream, I'm putting stuff up. But,
yeah.
All right. Take care. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Yep. Peace out, guys. Does you want me to leave? Okay.